Hello everyone, this is Manish here from Manish Code Lab. So today we are going to look into the Fast API inventory apps, the whole application, how we are going to design the respective things. So before we go ahead, just wanted to give you a brief on basically why exactly I'm using Fast API over Flask, because it's more modern, high performance framework and it aligns with our advanced web development. So this program will introduce key web development concepts, including the API bindings, handling HTTP request response, along with the advanced Python concepts like data validation, error handling, asynchronous programming. So we'll go through this. Now, if you see on my project structure for the given files that you can see, we have app.py, which is our main application with the fast API routes. We have models.py, which basically are the data models using Pydantic and SQLAlchemy. And for the database.py, it is nothing but is used to establish a database connection setup using the SQLAlchemy, whereas the middleware is used for logging and error handling, whereas the requirement.txt is nothing but it has all the dependencies of the respective project imbibe. So we'll go into it first. First, I just want to show these are the respective requirements that would be required to basically execute, and these dependencies should be installed as part of the given project. So we have Fast API, UV Confident, YAML, SQL, Alchemy databases, and all these libraries as you see on my screen. Now, the entry point is going to be my app.py. So in this respective code that you see, how exactly the code is being devised is so the main entry point in this case is, as I said, the app.py, where we are initializing the fast API instance, including our middleware, and it mounts our respective routes. So the initialization is what you see the fast API method that we are using to specify the title and the version over here in our case. And then what we are doing is we are including our routes and defining what routes we have to take. We have established our database connection. We are loading the YAML configurations over here. And this is what our middleware is. So we are basically our middleware is it in our custom middleware for logging our request processing time. And the run command is nothing but we use UVCon to run our respective fast API in this case. Okay, so what we're doing is in this case, we are creating an instance of fast API, including our routes from root.py file. And also we are implementing the middleware logs for each processing of this request to monitor our respective performance. So you can see the authentication flow over here. Over scheme, we are using the bearer token over here. Okay. And we have given various endpoints over here. You can see the various endpoints for the app.get, the respective get, and for the root, you're going to get this message over here. And for the register, it's going to register the respective user into the respective database, and we'll see the status scores coming as in case if the user is already registered. Okay. And similarly for the token, as you can see, we have defined a asynchronous function login over here, which takes a input parameter as a form data, which is creating an object of OAuth to password request form on the depend. So basically what it gets is it generates our token and also for our user authentication over here. So it checks from the database, gets the respective username and checks if the respective password has been is correct or not. In case of incorrect password, we'll get the incorrect username and password. So same goes for post request. As you can see now, post request, if a respective item is going to get created, 201 a response is going to show. So over here, you can see a create item function over here. So it is going to create their respective item in respective database in our case. And to fetch the respective items or to get the respective items, you can see item.item ID. That is what we're going to do. And what it is going to do is it's going to fetch the respective item in our case from the given item. And in case if the item is not present, it is going to give you a status code as 404 as an HTTP exception. Now, in case if you need to fetch all the respective items that you have, so we are going to use the, you can set get request for the items over here. It's going to return a respective list over here for all the database items that we have. Now put is generally used to update a respective item in our case. So in this case, you can see we are updating a respective request over here for a given update item for the respective element in this case. And if the respective element is not found, again over here, we're going to throw a status code error as 404 item not found. Now, in case of deleting a respective item, we have to give the parameter as item ID, and based on that ID, it is going to delete the values from the respective database. And in case if that value does not exist, it is again going to show you 404. And for any other exception, we are going to show 204 no content available after the respective information has been deleted. So the next thing, I've just handled an icon request to reroute it because I've not created a static icon. Otherwise, it would be showing the respective icon over here. Now, So this UV-con.run is going to run the respective app with the host configuration, the app and host that you can see, and the port respective mentioned for these. So this is our entry point for respective application that you see here. Whereas models.py, let me go to the models.py. So if you see in my models.py, what we are doing is the purpose for this file is contains the data models used in application, which is defined in Pedantic and SQLAlchemy. Alchemy, sorry. It allows for data validation and serialization. So we have data models over here. So generally, pedantic models are used for validating incoming data, and we have field definition in the field method that you can see, which is used for setting constraints and default values. And for our SQLAlchemy models, so these are nothing but structured for the database operation. So in model.py, we are defining our data model using Pedantic for request validation and SQLAlchemy for ORM, nothing but object relation mapping for each model corresponds to a respective database table, ensuring that we have the data integrity in our case. So that's what we are doing. You have seen the respective name, price, description, stock category being defined to the respective fields over here, and we have defined a respective class user visit for the respective input as a base model, and we have given email and password in this case. So we have user and email two classes over here for models. Now, next thing that we go is to see for the our database.py, where our respective database connection is going to take place. So if you see my respective code over here, let me drill it down. So if you see the respective database URL I've given is SQLite plus AIO SQLite. So this is our respective SQLite URL on which I'm going to have a respective connection established. So this establish our connection and handles the session using the SQLAlchemy. So we are creating an engine and specifying the database URL. And then we are also, if you see the session local that we are going to create, uh, just one second. Yep. So if you see in the session local, what we are doing is in the session local, we are handling our sessions, how it interacts with the respective database, and we're initializing our tables in case if the table do not exist. So these are the same method that we have been calling over here. So init database is initializing of the respective database. This is to create a respective item into a database. Item is we have to fetch all the items, update items. So those methods which we have defined over there, those implementation over here, you will see create user, get user, verify password, all these things which we have defined it over there. So over here, you'll see that we are hashing our password based on the respective schema over here. So yep. So as we said, basically we'll be using ORM model over here. So you have seen the table name, my users, ID, email, and hash password over here. In this case, for the database.py. Now over here, next thing that we see is routes. So we have defined our default routes in our case. So we have not mentioned any specific routes. So in case if you want to define specific routes, you can use routes.py and define various routes for reading, updating, and deleting items. Now for the middleware that you see, the middleware is nothing but where we are handling our log requests and handling errors. So it requests, so middleware can intercept requests to log processing time and also handle customized errors for the exception that we get in our case. So that is what we are trying to do over here. So if you see log request data, it's trying to see the processing time done for the each request over here. So that's it on the high level, and what we're going to do is we'll start basically to get the respective requirements first installed. So first thing first, we'll get the respective requirements over here. You can see pip install -r requirements.txt. This will install all your respective requirements as part of the given requirements.txt. The next thing that what you need to do is you have to run your respective app. So now to run the respective app, we will be using our Univorn app reload as part of to reload respective app over here in our case. So once I start running, you can see the application has started and you'll see the Univorn is running on this port over here. So this port is available for us. So this is how the fast API UI looks like. So over here, if you can see, we'll get the respective route. We'll just try this query. You can see this is a respective port. The message coming as welcome to web development basic API using fast API. Now similarly, we'll register respective user here quickly. I'll just try it out. I'll register respective user. In my case, I have already registered that user. If I want, I can give another user and new user registration will take place. And then I'll just generate a respective token over here and execute this. And you can see for respective token is generated here. Now let me just quickly get the items that I have over here. So currently as do not have an items, you can see, let me just push few items quickly. Let me create an item over here. I'm just creating one item over here. Let us see this. Okay, item has been successfully created in this case. Okay, let's say if I want to again create one more item, let's say ID as one, and let's say smart watch. Okay, price is 99.99, high-end watch, and stock is, let's say, 7, and there's same thing. I'll just push two items over here. Let's quickly see for these respective items over here. In this case, if you see, they have two values for ID 0, ID 1. Okay. If I want to fetch specific ID, I can use the respective item ID get request over here. So one, if I just give, let me try this out. I'll just give one and it will fetch me respective IDs over here. So similarly, this is more on the UI that we can, the same function that we have written is going to perform those actions. Now, in case I want to delete a respective item, for example, I'll just go ahead and execute and delete it. Okay. So here you can see the respective item is going to go ahead and successfully deleted. Okay. Then in case if the item doesn't exist, for example, 0, let's say. Okay. So if you see it has been successfully deleted. So these are the respective operations that we can perform and do all these as part of the fast API. So yes, I hope this was much useful for everyone. And yeah, see you in the next video. If you like the video, please do share to your peers, like and comment for any queries that you have. So see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.